Hello, welcome to Watch This Now. My name is Nick, and today I'm talking about Judy, the Judy Garland biopic that has officially started the Oscar conversation after gaining massive buzz for Renee Zellweger's lead performance, bringing the entertainment legend Judy Garland to life, covering her last few months performing a slew of shows in the London area, while also cutting back to her time as a teenager as she prepares to film The Wizard of Oz for MGM. Zellweger gives a commanding performance. Really, everyone else in the movie doesn't really matter. We have a really strong central character to work with and a really strong performance, but the story seems to be having a tug-of-war with its own central character. In the past, we're supposed to see how an innocent young girl was corrupted by this major system controlling her, yet then it also shows her at the same time rebelling against that system. Then as a middle-aged woman, we see how hard things are for her as she's been broken by this system, yet they also want to give her these little wins like having a good performance or falling in love. The film tries to be such a crowd pleaser that it forgets to tell a decent story. And the unfortunate thing about that is Judy Garland's life actually lays out a pretty solid blueprint to work with. I'm not saying this movie needed to be as gritty as the kind of film that Steve McQueen would make, but I do think that this film ultimately hinders itself by trying to put on a show. It's really all about setting up this big, juicy role for a solid actress, and thankfully Renee Zellweger rises to the challenge and nails this part. She is what I recommend you see this film for, because of course she's great. Of course she's leading the pack of Oscar nominations already. I think she's going to have to find a major challenger in order to take her out of the frontrunner slot. For now, I would say she should totally win the award. She does hella mouth acting throughout, does her own singing. There are parts where she seriously slips into Judy and seems to be a completely different person. I mean, she really is giving a solid performance. Although there are times when you do feel like you're watching Zellweger as Judy, because you can't help but compare to the real thing if you've seen a lot of that actual person's work. I don't even think the film is poorly directed. In fact, I think it's pretty solidly executed, especially some of the performance sequences. I think they're handled really well. The biggest problem with the film is its storytelling. I could boil it down to just feeling like an Oscar bait film, because it 100% is through and through. Everything about it. It really feels like it's trying to put on this show or set the stage for a solid lead actress, but it ultimately takes away from the story of the film. I think there's a really entertaining story to be told here, but I think the film pulls away from itself, especially when it flashes back to our teenage Judy. I understand how they're just trying to remind us, hey, Judy Garland is Dorothy in Wizard of Oz. Yeah, and a lot of other things. I think they would have been better just focusing on, hey, here's Judy Garland, entertainment legend. Here you go. Let's just focus on those last days. Cut out all of that flashback nonsense. It really just doesn't ultimately serve the story, in my opinion. Judy is a well-made film, and it's worth seeing for Zellweger's Oscar-worthy performance alone, and you might even enjoy some of the other aspects of it. I found it to be lacking, and I wish that it had a more focused storyline and was more concerned with telling a more earnest version of Judy's story. I wouldn't call this bad per se, but it certainly falls in line with the other mediocre biopics that we've seen over the last few years. I'm gonna give Judy a 3 out of 5. I found it to be entertaining enough, and I saw it a month ago, and I'm looking back on it like, yeah, I mean, it was fine. Zellweger was great, that's what I remember, but I just remember the story being pretty boring, and I didn't like cutting away from the good stuff to flashbacks that really didn't serve the story at all, in my opinion. Those are my thoughts on Judy. Thank you so much for watching this video. What are your early Oscar predictions? Do you think Zellweger should be the frontrunner, and who do you think should be challenging her? Who do you think should be the frontrunners of all the categories? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to Watch This Now, like this video, share it with your friends. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll see you in my next video.